Emma stepped into her bedroom and froze. The unzipped garment bag yawned open. The white satin hanger was bare. The family heirloom dress was gone.
Number, it was right here last night. I checked it myself. Mom, the wedding dress, it's gone. Where is it?
Linda didn't even look up from her crossword puzzle.
Oh, I gave it to Isabella. She had an engagement photo shoot, and frankly, it wasn't officially promised to you, sweetheart.
The words landed like a physical blow, stealing the air from Emma's lungs.
But Grandma promised me, she said. I would wear it down the aisle. You were standing right there when she told me.
Emma, people say things. She was sentimental. She never put it in writing. Isabella has always been so fragile. She needed the confidence boost more than you ever did.
A smug laugh drifted from the hallway. There stood Isabella, twirling before the full-length mirror, the heirloom lace cascading around her, a victorious smile plastered on her face.
I have nothing, no proof, just an empty bag and a broken promise that everyone else already forgot.
Emma pressed her hand against her mouth, trying to swallow the sobs shaking her shoulders. The silence of the room only amplified the hollow ache in her chest. The door creaked open. Isabella drifted in, still wearing the gown, the train whispering over the floor like a threat.
Honestly, Emma, you are being dramatic. It's just fabric. And it's always been a bit loose on you. It fits me like a glove, don't you think? Don't give her the satisfaction. Don't let her see you break.
Isabella, stop dawdling. We're already late for your consultation. Let your cousin sulk in peace.
Coming. Aunt Linda, chin up, Emma. Maybe you can borrow it for your rehearsal dinner, if you ask nicely.
The latch clicked. The rustle of lace faded down the hall. Emma was alone again, the house settling into an uneasy quiet.
They've always been a team, my mother and her. And I've always been on the outside, looking in.
She didn't move when she heard the front door slam or the engine start. The rumble of the car pulling away carried the last of her hope. Emma curled onto her side. The empty garment bag crumpled beside her and let the tears come until there was nothing left. Emma stumbled into her apartment. Daniel rushed from the kitchen, his face crumpling with worry at the sight of her. He guided her to the couch and knelt before her, taking her ice-cold hands.
Emma, you are shaking. Please, tell me what your mother did.
She gave it away, Daniel. My mother gave Grandma's dress to Isabella. She said it was never officially mine.
Daniel pulled her into his chest, a low curse slipping from his lips as she broke down again.
There has to be someone else who knew your grandmother's wishes. Someone who could back you up with proof.
Catherine, the old seamstress. She altered that dress for 3 generations. Maybe she remembers.
The name brought a flood of images. Silver hair, a tape measure, steady hands, and eyes that missed nothing.
I am going to visit Catherine tomorrow morning. She's the one person who might remember what Grandma really wanted.
Dawn broke. Emma set her jaw. She'd be outside Catherine's shop before the latch turned. The shop smelled of lavender and old lace. Emma's hand trembled on the door handle. Inside, Catherine looked up from a cloud of tulle, her spectacles glinting.
Emma, child, you look like you've been crying for days. Sit down before you fall down.
She settled Emma into the chintz armchair and placed a cup of chamomile in her hands, waiting.
My mother gave Grandma's dress to my cousin. She said it was never really mine, that there's no proof.
Catherine's teapot paused mid-pour. A muscle in her jaw flickered.
Your grandmother was many things, Emma, but she was never careless with a promise. Tell me more.
Emma spilled the whole ugly scene. Catherine's eyes grew sharp as needles. When Emma finished, Catherine walked to a cabinet and withdrew a faded photograph. The dress, on a smiling young woman who looked just like Emma.
Come back tomorrow, child. There are things in this shop that even your mother doesn't know about. Things I promise to keep.
Catherine's cryptic words hung in the air like a half-played melody. Emma leaned forward, her voice barely a whisper.
What kind of things? Please, Catherine, I need to know.
Catherine set down her teacup with deliberate care. Her roomy eyes drifted toward the old Singer sewing machine.
I remember the day your grandmother brought me the Bolivian lace. She had a fierce look in her eye. This dress needs a secret, she said. One only Emma will understand.
A secret? Grandma never mentioned anything like that to me.
She was protecting it. And you. She knew families can be complicated. I stitched her words into the lining, and they've been hiding there ever since.
Catherine's fingers traced a phantom pattern on the tablecloth, as if remembering the exact placement of every stitch.
Can I see it now? Please. I've been waiting my whole life for something like this.
Not today, child. The dress isn't here, and some secrets need the right moment. Come back tomorrow morning. I'll have everything ready.
Emma stepped out into the cool morning, the bell chiming behind her. For the first time since the betrayal, her steps didn't drag. That evening, curled on the couch with a mug of tea, Emma idly scrolled her phone. A new post from Isabella froze her thumb. The photo showed Isabella in the heirloom gown, arms outstretched. The caption read, "Something borrowed, more like something mine. Forever grateful to Aunt Linda for seeing the truth."
No. She's wearing it in public. She's posting it like a trophy.
The mug slipped from her hand and shattered on the floor, cold tea spreading like a stain.
Emma, what happened?
Look, just look. Isabella's made it official for the whole world. I am the joke cousin who lost her own dress.
Daniel read the caption, and his jaw tightened. He pulled Emma into his arms, shielding her from the screen.
She's baiting you, sweetheart. But you told me Catherine has something your grandmother planned. Hold on to that.
Tomorrow can't come fast enough. Catherine, please have the proof I need.
She didn't sleep that night. Every chime from her phone felt like another dagger, but she didn't respond. She just waited. At first light, Emma's phone buzzed. Mom, on the screen. She stared at it, the ringtone slicing through the quiet.
Yes, Mom.
Don't yes, Mom, me. I know you went sniffing around that old seamstress, stirring up family drama again.
I asked Catherine about Grandma's dress. She remembers promises you claim were never made.
Catherine is a senile old woman grasping at memories. Your grandmother made no promises that matter. Stop this pathetic campaign, Emma.
Why are you so afraid of what I might find, Mom?
A heavy silence crackled on the line before Linda's voice returned, ice cold and deliberate.
I am warning you, Emma. If you keep digging, you won't like what you unearth. Accept it. The dress is Isabella's. She deserves it.
Emma said only goodbye, Mom, and hung up. When Daniel entered and saw her white face, he sat beside her without a word, a steady presence. But in the silence, Catherine's promise flickered in Emma's mind. She straightened her spine. Her mother's poison would not steal tomorrow. The old rotary phone on Catherine's workbench had only 5 saved numbers. She dialed the first one, across town. Emma's phone lit up with a name she hadn't seen in years. Catherine's alterations.
Catherine, is everything okay? You never call.
Come now, child. I've found the proof your grandmother left. Hurry.
Emma threw on a jacket, heart slamming against her ribs. She nearly tumbled down the stairs in her haste. Catherine stood in the shop doorway, hands clasped tightly. Her old eyes scanned the street with a fierce, patient light. The bell jangled as Emma burst through the door, breathless and flushed, scanning the familiar chaos of lace and thread.
I came as fast as I could. Please, Catherine, what did you find?
Sit down, child. Some things are best shown, not told.
She led Emma past the dress forms to a back workroom. A small wooden box, bound with a faded ribbon, sat on the cutting table. Catherine lifted the lid with the reverence of a ceremony. Inside, face down, lay a single photograph. She turned it over. Emma's breath caught.
That's Grandma's handwriting. I'd know it anywhere.
Read it, child. Aloud. Your grandmother would want you to hear it again.
Emma's voice was barely a whisper, but the words rang clear. For Emma, with all my love, Grandma.
She loved me. She planned this long before I ever knew I'd need it.
That's not all, Emma. Your grandmother was a woman who planned for every storm. She left more than a sewn-in secret.
From beneath the photograph, Catherine slid out a folded document, its edges soft with age, bound by a faded red string.
This is her signed letter. Emma, naming you the intended heir of the dress, in case the family ever tried to rewrite her wishes.
Emma reached for it, but Catherine drew back gently. Not yet. When you are ready to face your mother, I'll give it to you. Until then, it stays safe here.
Catherine, I am ready. Give me the proof my mother can't deny.
The seamstress saw the steel in Emma's spine. She measured it against her own promise, then slowly extended the folded paper.
Read it aloud, child. Let your grandmother's voice fill this room.
Emma's trembling fingers broke the wax seal. The handwriting bloomed across the aged paper in loops she knew by heart. I, Eleanor Vance, bequeath my wedding dress to my granddaughter Emma Rose. She alone carries my promise.
She put my full name. She left nothing to chance.
Emma buried her face in Catherine's shoulder, half laughing, half sobbing, the note pressed between them.
Now go, child. Your mother's arguments are nothing but air now.
She left the shop clutching the photograph and note like a shield. For the first time, she felt untouchable.
Daniel? Set up a meeting with my mother and Isabella. I am ending this tonight.
Emma sent a text to her mother. Meet me at the Copper Kettle at 5. I have Grandma's proof. Linda's reply was immediate and cold. Fine, I'll be there. But if this is a trick, you'll regret it. Emma stared at the photograph in her hand. The embroidered words blurred as tears threatened. She swallowed them back.
You have the truth, Emma. That's more than she ever had.
I am going alone. This is between her and me.
The cafe was quiet at this hour, the scent of coffee and old wood offering a strange calm. She took the seat facing the door. She set the envelope on the table, the name Eleanor Vance clearly visible through the paper. Her heart hammered, but her hands were steady. The bell chimed. Linda pushed through, Isabella trailing behind with a smirk that could curdle milk.
All right. Let's see this so-called proof you've been chasing.
Sit down. Both of you. It's time you learned exactly what Grandma Eleanor really intended.
Linda dropped into the chair with a huff. Isabella perched beside her, arms crossed. The air thickened with scorn. Emma slid the photograph face up across the wood. The embroidered label, for Emma, gleamed in the lamplight. Linda's fingers trembled as she lifted the image. The blood drained from her face.
Where did you get this? This is a forgery. My mother never had anything sewn into that dress.
Oh, please. You probably stitched it in yourself to score points. This proves nothing. Catherine sewed that in 20 years ago on Grandma's orders. I have the photos to prove it.
Linda's throat bobbed. She stared at the photograph as if it might bite.
Even if it's real, it's not a legal document. It means nothing in court.
You are right, but then again, neither was your word. So let's talk about what is legal.
She tapped the corner of the envelope, bearing Eleanor's seal, then leaned back. The final card remained underneath. Emma slid the note from the envelope. The aged paper crackled in the silence. She held it up, her grandmother's elegant loops unmistakable.
Read it, Mom, out loud. Let everyone hear her actual words.
Linda snatched the paper. Her eyes skated over the first line, and her hand flew to her throat.
I, Eleanor Vance, bequeath my wedding dress to my granddaughter Emma Rose. She alone carries my promise.
A sob caught in her throat. The paper shook as a tear splashed onto the ink.
Aunt Linda, don't. She's manipulated you with a piece of paper from a senile old woman.
Be quiet, Isabella. This is my mother's handwriting. I'd know it anywhere. Emma. I am so sorry. I was cruel. The dress was always meant for you. I'll make it right.
Linda's shoulders sagged. She buried her face in her hands, a lifetime of favoritism crumbling.
The dress was coming home, but she just buried her mother's denial forever.
Linda pointed a sharp finger toward the restroom. Go change, Isabella. Now.
You can't be serious. We're in a public cafe.
But Linda's glare left no room for argument. Isabella slammed the restroom door behind her. Minutes later, the door creaked open. Isabella emerged in her street clothes, the heirloom dress folded over her arm like a dead thing.
Here, take it. I hope it rips at the seams on your perfect little aisle. Thank you, Isabella, for returning what was never yours.
Emma cradled the dress, her fingers instinctively finding the hidden label through the layers. It felt like a heartbeat.
I can feel her. Grandma, I've got it. I am never letting go again.
The cafe fell silent as she turned and walked out, the dress a sacred bundle in her arms. Linda remained frozen, her face a mask of shattered pride. Isabella's gaze burned holes in Emma's back. Emma let herself into her apartment, the day's weight finally lifting. She carried the dress to her bedroom and hung it with reverent care.
Home. You are finally home.
Only then did she dial Catherine, her thumb hesitating for just a second before pressing the call button.
Catherine, it's Emma. I did it. The dress is hanging in my closet.
Oh, my dear girl. I knew you had the strength. Eleanor would be so proud.
I want you there, Catherine. Not as the seamstress, but as the guest of honor. I owe you everything.
Child, I haven't been a guest of honor since my own daughter's wedding. I would be deeply touched.
They spoke a few more minutes, voices soft with shared relief, then said goodnight. Emma set down the phone and touched the lace.
This time, when I walk down the aisle, Grandma will be right there against my heart.
The wedding was suddenly real, and for the first time in weeks, the thought of it filled her with pure, uncomplicated joy. The morning sun streamed through the bridal suite windows, illuminating the lace of the dress hanging on a padded hanger. Soft violin music drifted from the garden below. A soft knock, and Catherine entered, her aged sewing kit clutched to her chest. Her eyes found the dress first, then Emma.
It always comes down to this moment, child. The final stitch.
You've stitched love into every thread for 3 generations. I want you to finish it.
Catherine knelt with practiced grace, threading a needle as easily as if she were 20 years younger. Her steady hands worked the hem with reverent precision across the room. Linda stood by the window, her reflection ghostly in the glass. She'd been allowed to attend, but the distance between her and Emma remained a chasm.
You look beautiful, Emma. She would have been so proud.
Thank you.
The door opened a crack, and Daniel's face appeared, his smile so wide it crinkled his eyes. He drank in the sight of her, his voice catching in his throat.
I won't ruin the surprise. I'll see you at the end of that aisle, my love.
The pipe organ swelled, and every head turned. Emma stepped into the aisle, the antique lace train flowing behind her like a whispered promise. In the front row, Catherine pressed a handkerchief to her mouth. Her shoulders shook with the effort of containing decades of love.
She looks just like Eleanor. Oh, my dear friend, you kept your promise.
Emma's gaze found Daniel at the altar. His eyes were wet, but his smile was the steadiest thing she'd ever known.
Grandma, I am here. I am wearing our dress. Your secret is right against my heart.
She reached the altar, their hands clasped, fingers lacing together as if they'd been designed for that exact fit. They spoke their vows in voices that trembled, then steadied. The ancient words sealed a future that had nearly been stolen. The officiant pronounced them married. A cheer erupted. Sunlight burst through the stained glass, painting them in color.
We did it, Emma Vance. No one's ever taking anything from you again.
Emma laughed through her tears, one hand still pressed over the hidden label. Her grandmother's love a secret beacon only she could feel. The reception tent glowed with fairy lights. At the head table, Catherine sat in a place of honor, her eyes still rimmed with joyful tears.
To Catherine, the keeper of secrets and the guardian of a promise across 3 generations, we owe you everything.
I only did what Eleanor asked. But seeing you, Emma, in that dress, my heart is full enough to last another lifetime.
The band struck a waltz. Daniel led Emma onto the floor, one hand resting over the hidden label as they swayed, a quiet fortress in each other's arms. As the song faded, Linda appeared at Emma's elbow, without makeup, without pretense.
Emma, I've never been more wrong. I put Isabella before you my whole life. I don't expect forgiveness tonight. I just need you to know I see it now.
I heard you, Mom. That's a start. But it's going to take time to rebuild what you broke.
Catherine, drawn by the tension, appeared beside Linda. She took both their hands and pressed them together.
Eleanor's love was big enough for all of you. Don't let the gown be the only thing she mended today.
The 3 women stood in a fragile alliance, the truth finally spoken aloud. The family's long favoritism was no longer a secret, but a scar beginning to heal. The music faded behind her as Emma slipped through the French doors onto the balcony. The night air cooled her damp cheeks. She leaned on the iron railing, the distant sound of laughter, a gentle hum. Above her, stars pierced the velvet sky.
I did it, Grandma. I wore our dress. Your secret carried me down the aisle.
Her fingers traced the hidden label through the bodice, the tiny stitches as familiar as her own pulse.
You saw the storm, didn't you? And you built my shelter right here against my heart.
A sudden breeze swept up from the valley, lifting the hem of the dress. The lace fluttered, alive with memory.
I'll keep your promise, Grandma. I'll protect this dress and everything it means.
She closed her eyes, letting the wind weave through her hair. For a long moment, she wasn't alone. Inside, the party continued. Outside, a bride stood wrapped in 3 generations of love, finally at peace.
Happy tears! Finally! Just happy tears!
Years later, on a quiet morning, a sunbeam fell across 2 framed photographs on a walnut dresser. Side by side, past and present. In the black and white image, a young woman in a lace gown beamed, her hands clasped. In the color photo, Emma laughed, the same lace cascading around her. If you looked very closely at Emma's gown, just above the bodice, a tiny thread gleamed, an embroidered label only she could feel. For Emma, with all my love. A grandmother's words sewn into silk, outlasting every argument, every betrayal, every doubt. The dress now rested in the cedar chest Catherine had restored, alongside a velvet box containing the signed note and the fragile photograph. Emma never had to prove her grandmother's love again. It was stitched into the very threads that carried her down the aisle, a promise fulfilled in every fiber. The 2 photos on the dresser seemed to smile at each other. A young woman who planned for the storm, and a granddaughter who learned to stand in its eye. Catherine passed quietly a few years later, a spool of Eleanor's lace in her hand. Emma spoke at her funeral, calling her the guardian of a secret that mended a family. The dress waited. Not for another wedding, but for the quiet moments when Emma would open the chest and run her fingers over the label, whispering thanks to a love that never faded. For Emma, with all my love, the end. But a promise this deep does not simply end with a photograph and a chest. The dress became more than fabric. It was a testament that love, written in thread, outlives every petty betrayal. Emma never needed to prove her worth again because her grandmother had already done it in secret. Every bride who wore that dress carried a different story, but only one carried a hidden dedication directly above her heart. The favoritism that once fractured the family slowly became an open secret with no power. And when Emma's own daughter, years later, asked about the tiny embroidered letters, Emma smiled. She told her the truth, that some gifts are not meant to be seen, only felt, that a grandmother's love can be stitched into a seam, waiting for the right moment to be discovered, and that the people who plan for the storm long before it arrives are the ones who truly keep their promises. So, if you have a promise worth keeping, write it down. Or better yet, stitch it where no one can tear it away. This story stays with you because somewhere inside, you know a promise like Emma's. You know that love, when threaded into fabric, outlasts every argument and every doubt, and that there is always a Catherine, a quiet keeper of secrets, ready to protect what matters most. Emma's grandmother stitched a promise no one could steal, and in doing so, she stitched a family back together. If this story moved you, it's because you recognize that the smallest hidden words can carry the greatest weight. So, if you have a promise worth keeping, write it down. Or better yet, stitch it where no one can tear it away. Thank you for listening. If you believe some promises are worth keeping, share this story. And until next time, remember, love stitched in secret is the love that lasts forever.